guys, it's Fee, and I got a different background behind me because I'm in my basement, and I thought I would show all of my meds that I received in the mail today, some of which are in that fridge, which is why I'm down here. But before I get into that, I wanted to pick up where I left off a couple of days ago. Like I said, I do have my meds in hand, and I am supposed to start them on Sunday. So Lupron will start on Sunday night. That's what is Sunday night? The 16th. And my birth control will stop the following weekend on the 22nd. And we'll wait for the red plague to show up, and then I'll call him, and I'll have a baseline scan, and we'll go off from there. So, where do I start? I had these meds delivered to my house. Typically I wouldn't do that because I work during the day, and you need to be here to accept these, or at least I requested signature confirmation. And on top of that, some of them need to be refrigerated. But my husband was home, so I was able to send them home instead of to my work and trying to figure out where to put them in fridge space and all of that happy stuff. My husband is home because, and I probably should have brought this up before, he had hand surgery. He had surgery on a joint in his thumb, which also required them taking a ligament out of part of his arm to fix that joint, or actually remove it and replace it kind of with this ligament. It's a joint that you actually don't need in your thumb, right down there. And he's had this done on one hand about 15 years ago, and it's genetic, so he knew he was eventually going to have to do the other one. And we decided to do it this year during his less than busy season at work, because he's part of a maintenance or fix-it group, and things go crazy in the summer. And the reason why that's important is because his hand is now immobilized for 6 weeks. He had his surgery this past Monday, and his right hand, which is his primary hand, is now immobilized for 6 weeks. So even though I sent this box of stuff home, he had to give UPS a scribble mark for signature confirmation and figure out how to get this. The box is pretty sizable. This box with one hand, his left hand, the hand that he doesn't use very often, down here and into the fridge and whatnot. And I told him to just toss everything in there, which was probably a mistake on my part, because part of it is marked to be in the fridge and the rest of it really doesn't have to be. But he had put it all in there, and it was brought to my attention that a bunch of stuff didn't need to be in there. And of course the crazy overthinker in me was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Is it going to go bad? Is it going to all that kind of stuff. My mind just kind of runs away with me. And I did some research on that. Obviously when I came home, which was probably about five and a half hours after he received it, I did pull it all out just for good measure. But I did do some research on that, just in case anybody else out there makes this mistake. You won't have to go crazy like I did. So I'm going to show you what's on the table around me, and then I'm going to go in the fridge and pull out the box that says refrigerate, and I'm actually going to open it. I haven't opened it yet. So here we go. Alright, so there's everything. So you can see I have my progesterone and oil, and I have Metapure, and I have Lupron, and I have Delestrogen, which it isn't focusing. I have the Novarel. This guy is the antibiotic. And back here I have the Follistim pen, not the actual cartridges, but just the pen. And back here is all kinds of syringes and alcohol wipes. And They actually have them marked with labels. I've got my finger over it just because my address is there, as to which ones are to use with what, which is kind of handy. Okay, so that's that, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to read off the dosages that are marked on these. I didn't want to do that while showing it because my address is on all of this stuff. The Lupron is 1 milligram or 20 IUs. The Menopur is 75 IUs, and it looks like I'm supposed to use 2 at a time, 150 units a crack. And the Delestrogen is 2 milligrams. The Novaril is just, this is the trigger shot, so this is just a one-time shot. It's the whole thing. 10,000 IUs. And the progesterone is 100 milligrams. And I'm sure as I go further, the actual nurse is going to make sure I understand all of this. For right now, they just wanted to ship me everything. They told me what I had to do with the Lupron. My clinic actually gave me DVDs to watch in addition to them explaining how to do the injections, which I thought was kind of handy because then I could watch as many times as I want. And I have watched all those. They're pretty self-explanatory, nothing too complicated. Alright, so I'm going to go and get that box and see what's in that box, because these bags look like they're just the syringes. And this one is marked to be used with Delestrogen, but something tells me these might have to be used for more than just that. And this is the alcohol wipes, and the other one is marked to be used with Menopur. And again, these are just the syringes, so I'm assuming there's more stuff other than just refrigerated necessities in that box. So maybe we'll get it. So here we have the box with the big refrigerator on arrival. It's got some decent weight to it, and it filled up like one entire side of my largest shelf in there. So, looks like it doesn't actually say what end is the top, but it looks like this one. Maybe once it's out of the box, it won't take up so much room in the fridge. I'm sorry for the lighting down here, guys. Hopefully you can see me. I'm going to put this down here on this chair. Alright, and right on the top answers that. There's a bunch of needles right on the top. Even though this says refrigerate on arrival, I'm not quite sure why needles would have to be refrigerated. Which kind of brings me back to all of the refrigerated, not refrigerated confusion. This box actually had a sticker on it. All the rest of the stuff was packed around it. So it didn't actually need to be refrigerated. This, they made it look like it has to be refrigerated. Yet you open the box and the first thing you see is needles and a sharps container. Alright, so here are the big needles that I'm a little bit scared of for the progesterone. And actually, I don't remember who I said this to, but I need to stop calling these needles. I'm just going to start calling them magic baby making wands. But here, I don't know if you guys can see that. That is a big needle. And I know it's sharp, and I know it'll be quick, And it's not like it's going to tear my tissue up because it's nice and sharp, but still, that's a little scary, you gotta admit. Alright, but we got this. We got this thing, I'll be fine. Okay, and under that is more syringes. Again, these don't need to be refrigerated either, I wouldn't think. Alright, and these are the syringes for the progesterone. Just your average syringes. These are a little bit bigger than these guys. See that? So I guess it's good that they marked all of them. But that doesn't need to be refrigerated, so that'll go in the pile of various necessities. And more needles for the estrogen, which it looks like these are the big honking ones too. See that? They look the same to me, even though these are pink and these are gray. I'm not quite sure why. Here, look. Maybe a slight size difference. I don't know. Can't really tell, but they're marked, so that's good. And Sharps container. I think I heard someone call this an apocalypse box once because of all of the markings on it. But I guess it's better than tossing it into a garbage can, which actually is illegal in most states, if you didn't know that. Can't toss those needles straight into your garbage. Alright, what's next? More stuff that doesn't have to be refrigerated. A needle for the Novarel, which again is one of those big honking ones. I really think the only difference between all of these is they're color coded. We've got pink and gray and blue. At least the needle end. And a syringe for Novarel. And what's next? The little bitty needles for Menopur. These guys, I can handle these guys. This isn't a problem. I don't know if you could see that. Now you can't see it very well, but the needle ends like all the way over here. And the tip starts right there. I mean, I just had 16 injections this size put into my arm for an allergy test on Monday. I got this. These I'm not afraid of. The other ones, gotta get used to that. Alright. And more needles for dull estrogen. I guess this is just the second package. This is more gray ones. And now we get to what I think really needs to be refrigerated because, see that? There's a sticker on this silver insulation. Medication and clothes, do not discard. Why would we discard this stuff after all the money we pay for it? You know, it doesn't matter whether your insurance covers all of it, some of it, none of it. If you have no insurance, this stuff is expensive. More expensive for some, that's for sure. So I am not complaining. Alright, this is one big, gigantic, insulated pack. And along the side is a bunch of instructions. So I'm going to put that to the side. No more box. And now we have this big guy. So like I said, it looks like my refrigerator won't look like such a disaster once I'm done. So whatever's in here, I'm going to keep in a separate pile so I know it has to go back in the fridge. And it's one big gigantic like insulated envelope. I might actually keep this thing and remove the sticker. You never know what you might need it for. There are big gigantic freezy packs in here. One of which is just about shot, and the other one is still hard as a brick. Alright. And this is in the middle, and there's more freezy packs on the bottom. So they definitely wanted to keep these cold. So it looks like The only thing that absolutely has to be kept in the fridge before use, that's the catch, before use, is Follistim. And this is marked, my dose is marked as 150 IUs. And each one of these cartridges is 300. So I got 2 shots before I have to reinstall a cartridge. That's it. That's all that's in here. So yeah, that's a little bit crazy. They could have just marked this as put it in the fridge and everything else can be separate. I don't know if I mentioned it before. My insurance used a company called Prime Pharmacy, so keep that name in mind for a little bit of messed up packaging as far as I'm concerned. Back to the refrigerated thing. I've got a couple of notes here. Like I said, all of this I originally had in the fridge. And it's really not that big of a deal. Alright, the progesterone you don't want in the fridge because it's an oil. When oil gets cold, it congeals, it gets thick, it'll make it difficult to draw up and inject, and you know, the thicker the stuff you're injecting into yourself, the more painful that's going to be. But if you put it in the fridge like I did, just take it out, let it get to room temperature, and it should uncongeal. The Novarel, which is the trigger shot, this needs to stay in the fridge if it's already mixed up. It doesn't need to be in the fridge prior use, but like I said, I kind of went nuts and I went online and I looked at drugs.com and I looked at a bunch of other places, and some people keep it in the fridge prior, some people don't. Some of the pharmacies even keep some of this stuff in the fridge right next to the stuff that belongs in the fridge. So I didn't find anything anywhere that said that something bad would happen to this if you did keep it in the fridge. But it did say no heat, no light, and no moisture, so don't store this in your bathroom either. The next one was the Lupron. I have the generic version. I'm not going to try and pronounce that, but there you go. That's the generic version. And this one, again, fridge after opening, but before it's open, it doesn't need to be refrigerated. I found nothing that said it actually hurts it if you kept it in the fridge. But again, no heat, no moisture. Didn't see anything about light on this one, but no heat, no moisture. The Menopure. Sorry. This one I got straight off of drugs.com. And it says it can be refrigerated or at room temperature, but if you put it in your fridge, it should be between 37 and 77 degrees Fahrenheit. And my fridge back there is set exactly at 37, so I can do either or with this one. I'm probably just going to keep it out because I can. But this one I would say depends on your fridge. So that's that. That's all I got on my little notes. Most of the stuff, it just kind of seems like it doesn't need to be refrigerated, so why bother? The Lupron, you need to refrigerate after you're using it. And the Novarel, you need to refrigerate after it's mixed up. The other stuff I have here, the Del Estrogen. There you go. Sorry about this lighting down here. I didn't really look this one up, but this was outside the box also, and I'm just coming to the conclusion that it doesn't need to be refrigerated, but probably won't harm it. And the other thing I had was doxycycline, which is the antibiotic. This is just regular pills. I don't think it matters either which way. Some people keep their pills in the fridge because they think it keeps them fresher. I don't think it really matters. And there's nothing on this that says anything about keeping it cold or not keeping it cold for that matter. It does say to avoid prolonged exposure to direct and or artificial sunlight while you're on it though, but it's an antibiotic. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. So I hope that was kind of interesting. I haven't actually seen anybody do a full unboxing like this that I watched at least. I've seen people do partial unboxings. I've seen people do injection videos. I said in my last video, I don't think I'm going to be doing that. First of all, no one needs to be seeing this tummy. And since I am not particularly fond of those larger needles, I'd just rather not record it. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. We have not received back all of the blood work that we did. It's a little early for that, but all the basic blood work came back and everything's fine. The stuff on the CF is not back. And the nurse didn't get in specifics, but she said not everything is back from my husband's blood samples. And as soon as all of that does come back, they're going to schedule, I believe she called it a cryo sample. Or I don't know if I'm just making that terminology up. But I don't know if every clinic does this, but mine wants the husband to come in and give a sample in advance that they can freeze in case your husband is sick on the day of egg retrieval, not here, away on work, or flat out gets too nervous that day. And actually, I think that's a pretty awesome idea. I've never heard anybody else mention anything about this kind of thing. So I don't know if that's normal or if my clinic is just over worrisome, but either way, I'm good with that. And when I told my husband that, he actually was a little bit relieved. So that sounds like a good thing to me. So I don't have the dates on that. The only dates I have is the Lupron starts Sunday night, this Sunday night, and the birth control stops on the 22nd. And we'll see how long it takes me to get the red plague after that. They were saying 3 to 5 days. Rarely it can take 7 days. There was a point in my life where I was on birth control for a very long time, and if my body acts anything like it used to back then, which is hit or miss, since my body has done its own thing over the last decade, but if my body acts anything like it used to with birth control, I'm going to say it's going to be like a day or two. That's pretty much that. The only other thing that she told me that, again, I don't think I've ever heard anybody mention is, okay, I've been on birth control for officially 4 weeks now. And I got a cat that just jumped up here. 1 second. Say hi. Hi. Hang on. I've been on birth control officially for 4 weeks. I am getting spotting for like the last week. Not full flow, nothing that is of concern. She asked about the color, I guess, and I'm not going to get into specifics, too much specifics on that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to put a really big TMI warning down here. But if it's old in color, you girls know what that means. It's nothing to be concerned about, and as long as it doesn't go to full flow, it's not a big deal. But if the color changes, even if it is just spotting, if the color changes to what you would normally see every month, I'm supposed to double up on the birth control and then just call her so she can mark it in my chart. And if it should turn to full flow, then I need to stop the birth control and call her. And I assume at that point, all these dates would probably get changed around. But I honestly don't think that's going to happen. I'm not feeling anything different than I have for the last week and a half of the spotting. And I've told them numerous times, and they really don't sound concerned as long as it stays as spotting. So I guess that can be pretty normal. That's what I got. That's what I got. I hope this helps someone. And I kind of wanted to do an unboxing. I haven't done an unboxing of anything on YouTube. So, hey, my first unboxing gets to be all IVF supplies. Awesome. All right. So, I'm going to put my follow stem back in the fridge. And I will talk to you guys the next time I have something to tell you. Probably when the red plague gets here. That's probably when I'll update, unless anything crazy happens prior to that. Because then at that point, I should have more dates. And that's that. I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Okay, so I'm back for a minute or two because I just wanted to show you what all of this condensed down into. Plus, as I was putting this away, I thought I was missing needles until I started opening more boxes. So I thought I'd show you what I found. For those of you who've never seen this stuff before, maybe you'll find it interesting. Or for those of you who are about to receive it, you won't have a heart attack like I did. All right, here we go. I'm going to turn you around. So all of that stuff, I can't do much with the Menopur unless I take it out of the boxes, and I don't know if I want to do that. But all of the needles and syringes I have in that, it all fits perfectly. And then all the non-refrigerated medications are in this one. And the nice part is they stock. So that's pretty much the whole box right there, except, focus, sorry about that, except for the Follistim, which is in my fridge, right there. And this pen doesn't need to be in here. That's the medicine, but I'm just going to toss it in there for safekeeping. But I'm going to pull it out here and show you what it looks like. Okay, so here we go. This is the Follistim pen that you saw me pull out of the fridge, and this is the container that's in the box. Check it out. It's Fee Green. Any of you guys that know me knows that Fee Green's a good thing. So, you know, hey, this is what's going to be stimming up the follicles and the eggs. Maybe this is a good sign. Fee Green means it's going to work. So the pen is in here, and the needles are in here that go with the pen. And then all I have to do is put the cartridge in there, and each cartridge will last me 2 shots. That's where you dial it up. I wish all of them were like this. It's pretty straightforward, simple, and to the point. And over here is the Novaril, that's the trigger shot. In this box, there's 2 things. This is the meds, this is the actual medicine. If I can get this to focus. There we go. It's a powder. And this is what you mix it with. Now, I'm going to show you the other thing that started to give me a heart attack. And that would be this Lupron. I didn't see any needles for this. Nothing marked, at least. But when you open this box, I'm sorry for my crappy photography here. When you open this box, it's all right there. See, there's the Lupron. There's even alcohol prep wipes in here for you. You don't have to go digging it out of the other box. Not box, bag of alcohol wipes they gave me. And the syringes and the needles are all in here. Now, I don't know if this is what all Luprons look like, but this is the generic version. So I don't know if the real, quote, quote, version of Lupron or the original Lupron looks like that, but so I've got 2 boxes like this. Yeah. Okay, and last but not least, I did take apart the Menopur so that I could fit it in my 3rd box there. That's the box that it comes in. And this is what's inside the box. A pamphlet, Q caps, and the actual medicine. Now, a Q cap allows you to draw up the liquid, which is right here, and then you have to mix it with the Menopur, which is a powder. So that's what's in that box. And the needles and the syringes are separate, which I showed you earlier. So that's that. That's all I've got, guys.